How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is gonna be kind of a short video since I already kind of started it, but basically I'm replacing the water pump to this 2007 Pontiac Torrent. I took out the air box already because you got to take out the air box with the 10. There's a 10 millimeter right here, and all these connectors connect to it. And then you got to take off this connector because it connects to the whole harness. And some of them have them underneath the cover, and some have them over the cover, so depending on your car. And then you gotta take off the motor mount because you won't be able to get to the belt or the tensioner. And then, by the way, once you take the motor mount out, you gotta put a jack stand. It's always better to put wood on top of that, not the way I have it right now, but yeah. You gotta put some kind of jack to lift it up, lift the motor up a little bit. And don't worry about putting the jack after you take the motor mount. The motor won't fall down. It's being held by the other two motor mounts. But once you do that, once you put the jack stand or the jack up, it should lift it up just enough where you can put a skinny ratchet like this on there to be able to loosen the belt like this. Alright, once you loosen the serpentine belt, you take off the cap. You take off the pulley cover. It has 4 10 millimeter bolts. I would definitely recommend using impact to take them off because the pulley spins around, tends to spin around a little bit. You can probably do it with the belt on, it just loosen them with the ratchet, but sometimes the pulley still slips a little bit, so it'll be just better using impact doing that, and also putting it back on. Now you usually gotta take off these bolts, which I think it's 4 of them or 5, with I think 8 millimeter socket. Alright, once you take off the old pump, which is right here, make sure the gasket's off of the housing, which this one pretty much came completely off. And then the new water pump should come with a new gasket, so just line up the holes and then put the bolts back in. Alright, once you put the water pump, the new one, back on, put the pulley back on with the 4 bolts, and then put the belt back around. And then obviously take off your ratchet off the tensioner. And then put the motor mount back on, which is this one. And it goes just like that. And there's 2 bolts here on the side, which are 19 millimeters. And then 3 bolts here, which are basically the bolts that hold the motor pretty much up to the motor mount. And these are 15 millimeters, and there's 3 of them. I don't know if I mentioned that. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning of the video, but before you do any of this, make sure you drain the coolant, or else you're gonna have a big mess when you take off the water pump. And after all that's back on, you put the airbox back on, and then pretty much everything else you disconnected. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Once you put the airbox, obviously the serpentine belt, the water pump pulley, everything else back on, you're pretty much good to go. Just put the coolant in it, and you're ready to go. Thanks for watching.